Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Kenyon Jones. Today we want to talk about an acronym for the word push. Push, prepare until something happens. In life, if we're not prepared, then, we're going to get caught, on the blind side, and in this life of achievement and work and play and everything in between, in order to be successful, in order to get to the next level, in order to be able to put yourself ahead of the game and give yourself an opportunity to excel and to do well, you have to be prepared. So push, an acronym for that, for me, and hopefully for you after you hear and watch this video, is prepare until something happens. You know, our preparation for whatever occupation we're in, whatever career, whatever endeavor we're involved in, if we're not preparing, then what are we doing? If you're not getting ready for something to happen, then what are you doing? We have to be prepared for whatever comes. I always hear, leaders say, you prepare for war in times of peace. Now we may not necessarily be engaged in warfare in terms of, weapons or, having an enemy, so to speak, but nevertheless, the message still stands. You have to be prepared. You have to prepare during times when things are calm and when, it's not this rush. It's not this level of intensity, because if you don't do it, things are going to happen, but it's better to be prepared for opportunities when you don't need to be prepared for them, so that way when they do come, you're ready to take advantage of everything that comes your way. So one of the ways that I prepare, I try to make sure that I read at least 1 hour per day. When I was a college student, unfortunately, I didn't have a love for reading, not at all. And part of the reason why I didn't have a love for reading was because of, the textbooks, that I had in school. I didn't want to read, and I didn't want to do anything in terms of schoolwork. But I tell you what, in 2005, when I graduated college and I got out here in this real world and had to get out into this workforce and saw, wait a minute, I don't want to be an employee, my whole life. I don't want to be a part of a workforce that I worked for 40 years, and then next thing you know, when I retire, I don't have anything to show for the years that I put in. So I had to really read, and I had to really dig down deep and do a self-introspection to see, okay, how do I get myself from where I am now to where I want to be, to where I need to be, to where I desire to be in the future. And the only way to do that was to read. And I read my way out of that mindset. And, all of the thought leaders that I follow, they all talk about preparation. Preparation in the sense of personal development, preparation in the sense of developing your mindset, being a person who has a transformed mind, thinking on a higher plane, in order to get to the next level. One of the reasons how we'll be able to get from where we are to where we need to be is because we have a change of mindset. If we continue to stay in the same mindset, there's no way that we'll be able to get to that next level on that same mind frequency. So we have to change the frequency of our minds. We have to be elevated, and in order to do that, we have to expand our minds by reading. Another way that I prepare is doing these videos. Every opportunity that I get to speak, whether in person or via YouTube, I take advantage of it. So my same level of preparation, if I'm speaking to a crowd of a couple hundred or maybe even a couple thousand, that same preparation that I put into that is the same preparation that I put into grabbing my phone and doing a 5 to 10 minute video on my phone. I want to make sure that what I'm saying makes sense. I want to make sure that it's credible information, and most importantly, I want to make sure that I'm speaking from my heart, and I'm speaking with a level of power and passion and authority that allows me to come across as somebody who knows what they're talking about. So I prepare. So even if it's something as simple as saying the alphabet, I don't take anything for granted. I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing words properly, that I speak clearly, that I'm able to articulate every word that comes out of my mouth. Because at the end of the day, whatever you put out, especially when you're putting things out into the public, people perceive it as reality, and they perceive it as that being your brand. So I'm prepared at all times. So I prepared through reading. I prepared through getting ready for every speaking engagement, with no problem. And the last way that I prepare is I try to prepare my mindset. One of the things that I've been fortunate to be around is individuals who have achieved astronomical success in all levels, all phases of life. Success means different things to different people. So I had the privilege of being around people who consider themselves successful at what they do. So one of the traits that a successful person has is doing what they love to do. Doing what they love. So I looked at my situation a couple weeks ago, actually, not too long ago, and I was in a position where I loved what I did, but the place where I worked, they didn't love me. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that they disliked me or hated me, but their love for me wasn't the same as my love for what I did. And the way that I describe that love and that appreciation is through compensation. I wasn't being compensated for the love and the affection that I displayed at that place. And it was time, for me to grow up and make a change and really put myself in a space where I was appreciated. So in terms of my mindset, I had to be above where I was in order to get to where I am now. So now, I mean, it seems like daily, I'm growing leaps and bounds daily, because I'm around people, I'm around individuals who have success on their brain subconsciously, and you can't help but to grow by being around individuals who possess that same desire to excel and to achieve and never get to the point where they know everything. You have no choice but to grow. So I can say honestly, since February, as today is April 2nd, I've grown so much since February 12th. It's amazing to watch and to witness, and I'm excited about, the next 59 days, as I have some goals that I have written down on my whiteboard that I'm ready to accomplish. So fighting through adversity, fighting through fear, fighting through it all, knowing that it's all going to be worth it. So with that, I want to say thank you to everyone who subscribes to Kenyon Jones Presents. Really means a lot. I hope that what I'm saying here has an impact, that it helps, and that as I speak about my own personal experiences, that you see something inside of my stories that applies to you. Because at the end of the day, as human beings, we're all going through the same thing, just at different times. So with that, I want to say thank you for watching, and God bless.